Good morning. This weekend, we were talking about the power of meekness. That's right, being meek is powerful. Don't believe me? Watch this.
Paul loved to use meekness over manipulation. We often use manipulation over meekness. When we all do it, we all do this sort of cheesy sales technique on each other. Pastor Jason in Blue Oaks, man, I love Pastor Jason. He used to do contracts all throughout Asia, and he would talk about how these Asian executives were genius at using the power, the manipulative power of silence in negotiation. They would put out their deal, and the executives just say nothing. I called Dish Network the other day. And I wanted to, how many here, you want to lower your bill? Because just starts climbing and climbing up. And I'm like, I didn't watch TV and this thing's gotten so big. And so I call them up and I thought, I'm going to use this Asian executive technique. I'm going to fake like I'm quitting Dish, and I'm not going to quit Dish because I got to watch the Seahawks. That's the Lord's will for my life. And so, but I want to get it cheap because it's the only thing I watch. So I call him up. I said to the guy, hey, I'm going to cancel my service. And he said, okay. So I just was silent. But he knew the same technique. He was silent back to me. I just walked around my bedroom for an hour not saying anything. And I finally said, are you still there? And he said, yep. He was a better manipulator than me. Do you know manipulation only works when you're not manipulating another manipulator? And here's the problem. We're all manipulators. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are such a manipulator. You are. Paul got the idea that it was not a sales technique or a strategy that changes people's hearts. And see, I want you to look at what I was saying today. He won them. He won them. See, most of you are trying to influence people you haven't won yet. You haven't got buy-in yet. What's buy-in? That's the emotional agreement that I believe you're for me. And you can't get buy-in with ego. When you come with a big ego, it creates an environment where buy-in is impossible. You can't win with ego. You can win with meekness. Paul loved this idea of meekness. He loved it so much. In fact, you just look at all of his writings. He would say stuff like, I am the least of all the apostles. And he says this beautiful saying. He says, when I'm at my weakest, then I'm the strongest. And he says, I'm going to have the exact same attitude as Christ. Philippians, he says, this is beautiful. He says, I'll have the exact same attitude as Christ, who made himself into nothing for you and I. You see, when you make yourself into something, you push people away. But when you lead with meekness, not manipulation, you create loyalty and people lean into you. Are you leading with your ego? Have you got buy-in yet? You know a great question you can ask? Ask this to your teenager you're having trouble with, or ask this to your mom, or your dad, or your professor, your teacher, your spouse, the person you're dating. Ask this to your Uncle Bud who drinks a bud, who wants to come and tell you why you voted for the wrong person at Christmas dinner. You know, here's a great, write this down. Ask him this question. What do you think? See, often we lead with our opinion, and we should lead with our listening. And when you ask someone, what do you think? It creates a vacuum in them where they begin to feel obligated to say to you, what do you think?